There's a part of all of us, it seems, that would like to be noticed. Sometimes it's as simple as a new haircut or hairstyle or dress. For others of us, it's being noted for sacrifices we made to help something work out, or help someone do something or get something done. When we are not acknowledged for what we've done, some of us just swallow hard and suck it up. Others of us need to be thanked profusely and verbally and with notes of recognition. Some of us need public acclaim. Others of us, just a simple note. But all of us want, at least in some small way, some recognition. Part of all of us, it seems, would like to be noticed. But for some of us, that need can be vacuous, coercive even. If we work tirelessly, then we expect to be tirelessly thanked and publicly acknowledged. Consequently, there are all of the passive-aggressive things we say so that people see how awesome we are. From asserting that that was my idea, yeah, that was my idea, what I did or said, or, yeah, I did that. I did that first, actually. Just so that others know, or others know how busy we are, how hard we've worked, how stressed. And that's not all bad, I suspect, to want that. And I guess it's somehow human to want that. But the truth is, our good work cannot depend on other people's response to us. We need to be able to do it because it's the right thing to do, and we want to do the right thing, and that is enough, whether or not it is noticed by other people. But I got to tell you, it takes a truly spiritual person. It takes a truly spiritual person who's done their work to not need to be acclaimed and be recognized, or even be thanked and be okay when they are not. Maybe even more than just okay, but actually grateful for the chance to be humbled today. You know, there's a big difference between appreciating feedback and gratitude and acknowledgement and needing feedback and gratitude. Some people make their kids or their spouses or their friends or their workplaces or their parishes jump through all kinds of hoops just to make sure everybody knows how hard they've been working. And I think we all know that something gets taken away from our gratitude when it is expected of us, needed from us, and that somehow we might be punished emotionally if we don't cough up the gratitude and cough up the thank yous and cough up the public acknowledgement for what he or she has done here. How do I get a little more self-motivated than I am? How do I not need to be noticed by people for what I do? In the gospel story tonight, Jesus positions himself across from the temple treasury where all the commerce of power is taking place. And the rich and the famous of the world are putting in their millions of their billions of dollars. And here in the midst of all that lavishness and all that generosity, in comes this little, stooped over widow. She's one of the little ones of that world. She had no name. She was known by no one and had no land, and just a very few pennies to her name. One would never have noticed her. One would never have noticed what she gave. But Jesus notices her. Jesus notices her. And he points her out to his disciples, to his friends. And he says, look there, that widow has nothing, and she is giving everything she has. That's greatness. Look at her giving everything just because it's the right thing to do, even when nobody notices and nobody acknowledges what she just gave, which was everything. She just did it and walked on. She just did it because it was the right thing to do when nobody was watching her. Take note, though, my friends. Nobody noticed her but one. And that one was Jesus of Nazareth, the one who is God living among us. God noticed. God noticed what she gave. God noticed that she gave it all and did not look for anybody to pay attention to that. God could not notice an active, generous, humble love. God could not notice someone who gave everything and walked away so humbly, who did not need any thanks or any recognition or any public acknowledgement. God noticed her. God always sees good deeds done for good reasons. God cannot not see what you are doing that is good and generous and humbly done, and with no hooks attached. God sees. God notices. Ah, my friends, therein lies our freedom. Therein lies our freedom, because God sees we are freed from this distractive need to be noticed all the time and thanked for what we do. And we will be so free from all the passive, aggressive things we say so that people see how awesome we are when we trust that God notices and God sees, and that is enough. This is a great freedom because it releases us for joy. It releases us for a joy that lasts, that's not dependent on who acknowledges us or doesn't, or thanks us or doesn't, or notices what we've done or doesn't. This is a great freedom because it releases us for this joy that can be sustained for a lifetime, a joy in what we do because it's the right thing to do for the right reason, and not to somehow have our joy determined by this need for recognition from others for what we've done and how hard we've worked, and to be noticed by others. Because we know that God knows, and that's enough. And actually, that's more than enough. The God inside of you sees this, which is to say, the life and the love inside of you dance together. This life and this love inside of you dances together for joy that you don't need to be affirmed by this power outside of you, because the power inside of you knows that this is right. You did the right thing because you've learned how to be affirmed and affirm yourself from the inside out, instead of doing it for all this response out there. You do the right thing from the inside out, even when nobody else has a clue what you did. I don't talk a whole bunch. As a matter of fact, I don't know that I've ever really talked much about my family up here from the pulpit, really much ever. But my dad's getting on to 99 very soon. He'll be 99 years old, and he's coming nearer and nearer the end of his days. We know that. And he's diminished a lot, and so there's a lot more time where he's sleeping and kind of almost semi-comatose, it seems, some days. But it's given me a chance to just watch him, to be silent with him, to rub his arms. 99 years of skin, holding all that life inside of him that I was privy to. My mom died about close to 30 years ago, so he's been a widower 30 years. And I was sitting with him last night. I was actually sitting with him tonight before Mass. And I see so much of that widow in this almost 99-year-old widower. Because my dad never needed anybody to say thank you. My entire experience of him has been of him just doing the right thing for the right reason. And it didn't matter if anybody saw, ever. And not many did. And I said to him once, I said, Dad, how do you do that? And all he said was, Gary, God sees. I see it again and again. How many times have I walked into someone's home and a wife is feeding her husband night after night because he can't feed himself anymore? Nobody sees her doing that. Nobody's going to say thank you to her. He can't. I see husbands sitting next to their wives and just taking care of them as they get closer and closer to death. Nobody's going to acknowledge that they were there every night this week and in the morning. As I walk through my dad's nursing home, I see so many adult sons and daughters who are trying to get their kids to sports and to school all day long and who are holding down a job of their own, and then they go to the nursing home to take care of their mom and dad. They're not doing that because anybody's watching them. They're doing it because it's the right thing to do, whether or not anybody else has a clue. Let me tell you, when your joy is not dependent on other people's response for you to be happy, you are finally free. Free to be joyful over the way you live and what you do in this world. Joyful to do good things for good people, for good reasons, even when nobody else is watching. I have a word from the Lord for you tonight. God asked me to tell you something. God asked me to tell you, thank you. I noticed what you said. I noticed how you bit your tongue to not say the wrong thing. I noticed how you went out of your way for that person. Nobody else saw that, but I did. I saw you. Thank you.